Welcome everybody to the 69th Status Town Hall on November the 9th, 2020. We're really excited today. We've got some great updates, so I hope everybody enjoys. First up, we have got our founder, Jared, who's going to give us an update and a report. So over to you, Jared.
Thanks. Founder stand-up. I've been back for roughly about a month now, and finally caught up to speed. So I've just been working on a few things since I've been back. My core focus right now is developing the strategy and the business plan, specifically for next year. Still developing that and working on it, so stay tuned on that one. One of the things that I identified while I was away is the need for stronger alignment and focus between different teams. So you've probably seen me starting to massage things in that direction a little bit, particularly around my focus is in product and marketing, which will be the next two sort of slides that I would like to see some changes there. Another thing that was identified was sort of communication. Improving communication between leads, as well as going from contributors to leads to sort of management as well, and setting up stronger lines of accountability there around specific metrics for the organization. We haven't done strategy syncs, I've seen, but they'll be resuming. I'll probably want to change the format because they were quite grueling for Carl and myself. They ended up being a full-on day of just back-to-back calls, and I think we can be a little more productive around that. So hopefully I'll be changing that. Another thing is this year has been absolutely crazy. Don't need to tell you that, of course, but it does mean that your mental health is important, and things like burnout, just from the stresses of this whole year is a thing. So please communicate to me or your team leads if you are feeling that kind of stress. We're all here to help each other, so please let us know, and we'll help support you. And on that note as well, is I've been thinking about this concept of unlimited holidays, and that's something that Status offers to all contributors. But I think the issue with unlimited holidays is that some people work so much that they don't take holidays, because unlimited holidays doesn't really have a specific number to that. So I was thinking that maybe if people think it's a good idea or not, we could probably review that and, I don't know, have at least 2 weeks mandatory holidays and unlimited holidays or something like that. I'm not really sure. But if you have any ideas around that or how that can be improved, certainly ping me or let anyone know. Aside from that, I've been assisting various teams here and there, just letting them know priorities and how I think about certain things. Most notably is the KeyCARD was looking at layer 2, for example, solutions, and then the application team had issues rolling out the friend referral incentivization, which was caused upstream by the Ethereum network congestion. And so this has now increased scope for what KeyCARD was doing. And I'm really trying to help solve that at the moment. And that also works into some of our strategy and alignment stuff as well. So that's how I've been spending the last 4 weeks or so. Next slide, please. Okay, so I came back and the application is looking fantastic. It's robust as ever. There's there's some room for improvement. There's always going to be, but I think what's really cool is that we can actually shift away from marketing working on awareness of status to really driving users to the application. And it's a good time for us to probably do this because marketing has also been spread quite thin, and it's kind of doing too many things. And this is identified by the marketing team themselves. And I think one suggestion we could do to help with that is to prioritize all the marketing tasks by the impact on key user metrics. So when I'm talking about that, I mean, there's things like, if we do this particular task, how many active users will we expect to see in the application as a consequence of that? And so this would be that sort of volume at the top there. Another metric we can use to prioritize with is like, not all these tasks are measured equally. Different ways of acquiring users have different costs to them. And so currently we do this in paid user acquisition, and we don't have any problems there. It's actually been working quite well, but we don't really understand the costs of acquiring users through, say, organic channels. And that's kind of hard to measure. But I do think that we can get to some approximations of what this cost could potentially be, and see if that actually makes the most sense. Doesn't mean we can't do things. These are just things that, in terms of like how we can use the tools for decision making and prioritization. Another thing that's really critical is understanding our average revenue per user. Currently, I think in the last town hall, we described our effective cost per acquisition, and we're not really following anything up in the back end or during the user's life cycle to try and make that break even. And that's really important, because if we can get to a break even between the revenue per user and the cost per user, then we essentially have an infinite user acquisition machine that we can just continually run. And similar to the sort of the costs that per user that these tasks would have, there's the execution time. Like, how much time is it going to take for us to take these tasks, as well as repeatability. So we might be able to do something that's once off, but it's better if we can do tasks that quote unquote evergreen. You know, like we can just continually hit that, and we know that we're going to get some kind of repeatability out of the amount of users for a good price, regardless of what the actual task is. So it seems like that was a good idea, or accepted by quite a few people on the marketing side. And so the expectations there are to have like a first pass at this by the end of November. And then I'd like to help out and see if we can refine that and have that all kind of squared away by the end of the year, ready for 2021. I also have "and product" underneath marketing in the header here, and that's because, like, even though these aren't necessarily product-related metrics, in their entirety, they are absolutely relevant, and there does need to be a lot of coordination between marketing and product. And how to achieve these things, which actually brings me to my next slide. And this would be the user activation journey. I'm not sure if we already have one of these. I think I vaguely saw one when it came to some of the bot retention activities that's going on. But I think it would be really great for us to have marketing and product map out the sort of user journey through the first week or so, starting off from the traffic sources and then how they actually interact with the application. So we can identify what are the sort of key actions that we want the user to take. And these actions will be things that benefit the user, of course, but they also benefit the status network as a whole. So there is a Miro team invite link there. It's just an example at this stage. But it'd be great to have some session in the future where we really map this out and understand this in its entirety, and this help us prioritize the things that marketing needs, as well as what the product really needs as well. You know, for example, we can have like buying KeyCARD as an upsell in the application. We currently don't do that yet. That's probably one of the most tangible ways for us to start earning revenue in the application. We currently don't even onboard the user into buying crypto at all. So this is another thing that's quite low hanging fruit, fairly easy to implement, and yeah. The other thing there is like inviting friends. Like we absolutely need to get that up and running. So there's a lot of really impactful things we can do that will really reduce the sort of effective cost per active or per acquisition. So yeah, like this is just some suggestions at the moment. I would like to see this happen, but certainly open for feedback. We'll obviously chat with the leads and understand what their thoughts are, and we'll progress from there. But yeah, certainly open to any feedback. And that's pretty much it from me for now. Thanks.
Thanks, Jared. That was really a really good update. Thanks very much for that. Next up for People Ops, I just wanted to say in the last couple of weeks we have had a few extra requests for sick leave, so it's just a quick reminder that teams should be contingency planning in case core contributors are off due to sickness or carer duties. So just to make sure that we are across everybody's work and we have access to what needs to be done if somebody does need some time off due to illness. Thank you. And then over to Theo, who will give us an update on new joiners and current hires, current vacancies. Over to you, Theo.
Thanks, Terry. New joiners, welcome Arijit Das. Arijit joined the KEYCARD team. Arijit has a strong background in distributed systems, file systems, open source. He worked a lot on consensus protocols as well, and he will be joining Team Dagger, helping them with the development of Nimbus and our own internal file system, from what I understood from Dimitri. We also have Shivek. Shivek joined the core team. Shivek decided to do an intro video and tell us a bit about himself. Terry, would you forward to the next slide and start the video? Thanks.
Hello everyone, my name is Shivek Khurana and I recently joined the core team at Status. I joined Status because I was deeply impressed by the ideas of TApps and IPFS. And as I studied more about their research, I discovered multiple products that made a ton of sense to me. If you are from the Status team and listening to this, please don't mind me messaging you, asking you stupid questions. I know they are a burden. I'll try to keep them to a minimum, but I'd really like to know more about how things work. And if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer, you can reach me on my handles below. I'm excited to be here and expect a joyful ride ahead. So yeah. Hello everyone.
And hiring updates now. We're still looking to hire several people across the board. I think the most important ones are the head of people operations, finance accountant, an accountant is a priority as well. And also the leader of the Waku JavaScript implementation and wallet integrations. Guys, if you know anyone, please refer them to us. There is a referral fee that Status will pay to anyone that is successfully hired and onboarded. Passing on to the next slide. Thanks, Terry.
Thanks, Theo. Next up, we have got Core. So over to Andreas for his update.
Hello, hi, Taki. Can you move to the next slide, please?
Sorry.
No worries. So basically, last week we're getting closer to capital release for 1.9. So it's going to be either this week or maybe the next week. We'll see how it goes. So last week we added a few quite big features and we merged them in develop. So that's URL unfurling. Like we did an excellent job with that. And then timelines and profile updates, which Andre was working on. It was actually scheduled for 1.10, but just finished it, so no reason not to release it on 1.9. And also we finished the work we were doing with documentation transaction that was chaotic. So as I said, 1.9 is basically finalized. It will be cutting the release this week or next week, the latest. And then we started, actually getting the scope right for 1.10. What we're still working on is moderated public chats, communities as discussed, and profile pictures, and that's what we're going to be focusing on. And also we're going to probably take on and build back, start working again on KeyCARD. And that's it from Core. Thank you, Terry. Back to you.
Thanks, Andreas. Now we're going to hear from Tobias from Securities and Jacob from Infrastructure. So over to you, Tobias.
Thanks, Harry. Yeah, so we had an okay 2 weeks when it comes to security. There has been the first report being triaged to us for the desktop asset in the HackerOne bug bounty program, which is already fixed. So that's super cool. I guess happy birthday, desktop. Also, special kudos for Jay Rainwell. There was super fast response time on that one. You can check out the pull request if you're interested in more details on this. Yeah, we had a pretty severe issue with a third party that we use for our people ops and recruiting side. Jacob did a very, very cool job there on kind of like circumventing, mitigating this on our side. We've been talking to Greenhouse. They haven't fully resolved the issue yet. Yeah, but yeah, we are kind of on the safe side there. Thanks for that, Jacob. We also received a report from a researcher called Remosec. I want to give a shout out here. Thanks for contacting us over email, reporting an issue that we had with the subdomain. Otherwise, we used the calm time that we currently have, relatively calm time, to research link unfurling, link previews, which is a pretty interesting topic when it comes to security. Also linked the issue for interested people that want to have a look at it. So as Andrea mentioned, we already have implemented some previews, and we kind of went for a very safe approach there, only unfurling links for trusted sites that are basically that have to be confirmed by the users. Previews are a pretty subtle topic when it comes to security and privacy, so we're looking into more generic ways to have that rolled out in a broader way, which is work in progress and ongoing, and we keep you updated there. Thanks, Terry.
Thanks for that. And over to you, Jacob, for your update on infrastructure.
Thanks, Terry. We are having some big changes happening in Nimbus Fleet. There's a new setup for building nodes for Nimbus Fleet because I guess Nimbus is ramping up for a new release, and they want to test rapidly multiple versions at the same time. So we've kind of split the fleet in a new way. We have a lot of changes in terms of metrics and alerting. I'm mostly done essentially replacing our backend for metrics with Cortex. And we'll probably switch Grafana to using Cortex for querying metrics in the near future, which should make it faster at the very least, and also more reliable. We also have replaced the alerting for sites down similar issues with Cabot, previously with Isinga, which has its own problems with going down as well. Also implemented the integration for Cabot for Victory Ops, which was missing for some reason. And that still needs some polish, but it's almost there. We have some improvements to the build process for iOS in terms of signing. In the past, we've had a lot of trouble with essentially the keychain either being not properly unlocked or lacking human interaction on CI hosts when signing, which caused a lot of problems. So this might be a permanent solution to that, which is just great. And also various improvements for CI desktop builds for specifically Windows, and also we're trying to reduce the load on Infura, both for mobile and for desktop, by essentially introducing our own endpoint for Robston. So the Infura tokens are only used for either release or nightly builds and stuff like that. And yeah, the same greenhouse issue also has been fixed. That's about it. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Jacob. Next up, we are going to hear from Guy Louis on KeyCARD.
Hi, everyone. First, I wanted to give a note about where we've focused our efforts in the past month and where we're going to put it in the next. And Jared already said something about that earlier. So we've been mostly focusing the past month and on two things: status pay, which is a set of contracts and dApps, and on a redeeming use case to allow to redeem assets that are stored on a smart contract and redeem this with a key card, actually, but it could be done with any other wallet. So we are. So I did put the links to the repos of this work, and we are gonna shift our efforts. When I say our efforts, is KEYCARD team. So that's Andrea, Franz, Michele, and myself, to shift on improving. Helping improving the KEYCARD integration within the Status app. And our main driver here is to drive up KEYCARD adoption and the revenues we're generating. Yeah, can you go to the next slide, please? So what does it mean in terms of effort in the app? Our current view, I wanted to share our current view on things. So we've integrated KEYCARD within Status app since the month of June. Things are pretty okay. Our users are giving good feedback about the use of KEYCARD. It works well. We are selling quite low volume still, selling 50 cards a month. So that's pretty low with regards to what we could achieve. So we had left a couple of things not done and that were requested a lot. And so these are the top 3 things we want to work on now. There's the fact, we want to allow a normal Status users, those who are just using a phone, to migrate their multi-account to KEYCARD. We want to help them do that easily. That's first. We want to give the power to users to clean their KEYCARD, because their secret, their seed is stored on the KEYCARD, and of course we want to enable them to be able to remove it. That's their property. They own this secret, so they should be able to remove it. That's number 2. And we want iOS integration within KEYCARD. That's been asked a lot. As Jared said, the decisions we're going to make on what to integrate and what to work on, the main driver is going to be adoption and revenue generation. So the 2 identified things that we've not done in the app that we could do to improve this. The 2 obvious things are in-app upsells, as earlier mentioned. So somewhere in the app, tell the user, hey, you could get greater security with KEYCARD. Do you know that? What is it? And then help him with a call to action to purchase the card. That's the idea. And we've got to figure out what are the best ways to do that. Where in the app? Is that for all users or only users that have some assets in their wallet? We need to figure this out. And the other thing is backup cards, meaning we want to allow users to create a second KEYCARD with the same, actually, multi-account, so that you can protect the same assets. We want to allow him to create this and to use this card. This shouldn't be difficult to do, but with the current app, it's not something that is doable. That's a way to improve security, because the users could have a backup. And that's also a way to make more revenues, because we could sell bundles, basically. And we've been asked for that. People that bought one KEYCARD said, hey, but how can I have a second KEYCARD to back up my KEYCARD? So that's also more revenues. And by the way, KEYCARD iOS integration is also a way to make more revenues, because currently we're not selling to any Status iOS user. And then we've got a bunch of lower priority features. I did mention them here for the record, so that you're aware. We need to help users manage their KEYCARD settings. And there are other account management subcases that we're not covering that are less important. For instance, users that have a KEYCARD and want to go back to a regular multi-account because they lost their KEYCARD, for instance, or because they don't want to use KEYCARD for some reason. We are not allowing that, and we'll do that at some point. So that's our view on things. Two things I wanted to say about that. First, now is a perfect time for all your feedbacks about KeyCARD, whether things that you don't like in the way it's integrated, things that you think are missing, and especially if you have any type of ideas that would drive sales up, new features, anything new, branding, new packaging, new ways of distributing it. It's a perfect timing for all your feedback. So I really encourage you to say anything you think about KeyCARD, good or bad, on the KeyCARD status channel. And second, here I'm just talking about the KeyCARD effort in the app. There are a couple of things in the works at the product side. For instance, we're trying to get alternative packagings at the marketing front also, and on the purely selling side. We want to make a better experience for our users when they purchase the card. We want the cards to reach them quicker so that they can get it in a couple of days instead of currently it's usually 2 to 3 weeks currently. And we're going to need to find a way to have more cryptos and especially SNT usable to purchase. Currently, users can use fiat, of course, and a couple of cryptos, very large caps. We need to find out a way to have SNT for our users to purchase it. But so this is in the works. Some problems to solve, but we'll give updates as soon as possible on all this. And this is what I wanted to share today.
Thanks very much, Guy Louis. That was really interesting. Over to Johnny on the marketing side.
Thanks, Terry. So quick one from us today. As Jared mentioned, a lot of work is being done to prioritize the streams of work we have going on and then map those against various metrics and KPIs so we can have a more successful 2021. But there is still lots going on. So in Latin America specifically, we've got a lot of our influencers activated in Brazil, more content from Crypto Maniacos, Bruno Germano, and we are finalizing our Udemy course and technical material. So that's exciting in Brazil. In Argentina, we've signed on a number of new influencers last week. So those contracts are all done. And thank you, Carly, for all your help with the on the contract front. So a lot of content going on there. And over the course of the next few weeks, it will increase significantly. And then we're also investigating Colombia as a potential new market. There's been natural, I guess, organic reach into the region through our influencers and through the network. And Simone has done a great job identifying potential influencers there and ambassadors, which is great. So that's we're just doing a more deep dive into the market for a potential go-to-market next year. The bots are in progress. So Alex making good progress on those. The chatbot, the onboarding, the copy's done. Just finalizing a couple of supplemental blog posts with James on that. So that should be good to go by the end of the week. We're looking into a crypto on-ramp. We had a meeting with Ramp last week, and this is just early conversations around the user journey that Jared was speaking about earlier. So the app install campaigns are still in progress. So last week we had fairly stable budgets with lower volumes. Our CPI was a bit higher, and we're exploring new countries, which is great. And then last week, or rather this previous week, that was 2 weeks ago, that was last week, Simon's reallocated budgets with lower budgets overall as we do a bit more planning. And then once again, launching into new markets. And those are just for, exploring different countries and the CPIs that they have. And then Simon's also done a lot of work with Hester and team on the referral pilot, and that should be resuming shortly. Next slide. We do have an event this week, which is exciting, the Vancouver Biennale. Simona is leading a panel on NFTs. And then I'll also be walking through the sticker market, or loading stickers into the sticker market for a bunch of designers based in Vancouver, which is great. And then you may have seen on Twitter, there is a sticker market competition going on, and there's been some really, really amazing designs, which is very cool. And this is just a screen grab from Twitter, but I'll pull all of them so people can see. But they're really, really high quality, and it's cool to see that. We've also gotten some media coverage in the past couple of weeks, which is great. Alan is working with a media partner in Argentina called iProUp. He did an Instagram live session with over 200 attendees, which was awesome. And then immediately after, we saw some pretty good activity in the Status Espanol channel, which is good to see. We did a podcast with an up-and-coming DeFi podcast called DeFi Slate. And then through our PR firm in Argentina, we're continuing to get coverage in the market there, which is great. And next slide. Yeah, that's all. Thanks.
Thanks, Johnny. And we actually do have one other quick slide that I just need to bring up. If you just give me 2 minutes and I can just find that for you. Oh, sorry, give me 1 second. Right. Here we go. Over to Hester. Oh, hang on. Is it not showing up? 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. Over to Hester. Sorry, Hester.
No, thank you, Terry. I'm glad that worked out. It's a quick note, actually. I just want to call everyone's attention to the Build Week voting on Snapchat. So a proposal is set up there. You can vote till Wednesday. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure if 12 p.m. is Central European time or Eastern time. So stay on the safe side. Vote by Tuesday, but the proposal should be open to sometime on Wednesday. Reason we're doing that is to experiment with governance. There's a lot of future opportunities for us in using Snapshot. Obviously, we also have our own voting dApp, but for the time being, Snapshot offers some opportunities eventually of sending sign hashes over Waku, which could then also be used by other projects, submitting the Merkle root of all, let's say, all signatures on chain, so you can actually get voting opposed to polling. And ultimately, which is why kudos and thank you for everyone for also posting proposals on Assemble. We would then be able to also execute actions on Assemble and distribute funds based on voting outcomes. So it's a baby step in the direction of, let's say, like decentralized project management in a way. A baby step in that direction. We're definitely not there, but it's really cool to see everyone's participation so that we can eventually at least move into that direction. So that's it. Just make sure you vote. One S&T is one vote, so use a wallet that you know will have some impact. I can definitely see moderated channels and Simple Sync doing well. There might be some other projects that you're interested in supporting as well, so have a look on Snapshot. That's it, Terry. Thank you.
Thanks, Hester. Thanks for that update. That was really good. Right, and last up, we've got question and answers. We only have one question this week, and this is from Ancient Crimson Garden Snake, and it's, can we get an update on the S&T fundraiser? So the last communication was in January on Discuss from Carl and Jared. So Jared, would you like to just take this question for us?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. So basically, this year we've opted for stability. We were unsure due to the coronavirus outbreak. We were unsure what the markets were going to do and react. Thankfully, the Fed printed, millions and millions of dollars worth of money. Nothing can go wrong with that, eh? So anyway, so we extended our fiat runways. We're refining our business plans, and we are still looking to do this, but it probably won't happen. Well, it's not going to happen this year. The other thing here is that was really important for us to get right is our growth. And currently, we've seen some improvement there, but the things that we were hoping to drive growth in terms of the friend referrals were not able to be deployed due to the Ethereum network congestion and no real viable layer 2 solution at the time, and still isn't one. So yeah, we want to sort those things out first, because this would the next fundraise we do will be largely analogous to a sort of Series B in the traditional world, and will be predominantly for growth. And for us to do that, we need to demonstrate that, which is also why getting this communication between product and marketing better, and making sure the prioritization's there, and ensuring that we are getting to essentially cost-neutral user acquisition is so important. Yeah, but yeah, hopefully you'll hear some big announcements from us in 2021. There's some things that I've been thinking about that I'm really excited about that I haven't really mentioned to anyone yet. So I'm excited, but unfortunately, not the right time to talk about it.
Thanks, Jared. Appreciate that. So that's it from us on our Status Town Hall. The next Town Hall will be on Monday, the 23rd of November. Thanks to everyone for your time in giving your updates, and to everyone that's logged in to listen to us. So really appreciate everyone's support. Have a great week. Bye.